Guys, if you saw the most recent Weekend Update on SNL, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is the first non-binary cast member of SNL. They announced that she joined back in September last year, and we talked about that a little bit. But they're still tokenizing her, which is what they originally made jokes about doing, like in a self-aware way. Like when they introduced her to the cast, them to the cast, they made a bit out of tokenizing her gender identity. And now they're just doing it sincerely. They posted the clip to Twitter literally with the caption, introducing the first non-binary SNL cast member. And it's been a while since this person joined the cast. So you're clearly tokenizing them.
I feel like if she... Oh, sorry. You still
go ahead.
If she's representing the they/thems, they really got a poor.
They got the short end of the stick.
They did because she's not funny.
No,
that is
not
always
funny,
difficult.
not charismatic. I think Molly Kearney has. Okay, hear me out. Dylan Mulvaney is to Audrey Hepburn as Molly Kearney is to Chris Farley.
That is a really good parallel.
And my point being, you're never going to measure up to the original.
Right.
You're just going to be a cheap imitation.
I thought she's just supposed to look like Melissa McCarthy.
No, I'm not saying she looks like Chris Farley. I'm saying everything she does is trying to imitate the cadence of his comedic timing, and it doesn't work at all.
It's like that what you saw online and what you got when it arrived.
Exactly.
She's like the Wish version.
There's the one about the girl who does a perfect Jim Carrey, and she looks kind of like Jim Carrey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna find.
Well, at least she does it justice. But anyway, in this bit, it starts with Michael Shea introducing the topic of anti-LGBTQ laws that are being introduced in many states, threatening the health care of trans kids, meaning gender-affirming care, which we know is not healthcare. Then they foist Molly Kearney on a harness down into the set, and her first line is, "My groin area is beefed." Just in Chris Farley delivery, completely failing to make anyone laugh at home.
Here's that video, by the way. I've got it here. Hold on. Let me get the audio.
I think that's my favorite comment of all time, that I'm Wish Jim Carrey. Like, you want Jim Carrey, but you go to Wish, and then you get me. Like, why does my Jim Carrey have a vagina somewhere? I think. Maybe.
Kind of sounds like him. It's got a little bit of the delivery.
I don't know. It just kind of annoys me.
Me.
Of course it does.
Yes.
Look, men are funnier than women. That's my opinion.
No,
I mean, I'm of the opinion that
what you will.
I'm of the opinion that we just live in an age now where more people think that they are funny than they are. Never
this
shoot
person
for
has
funny.
been astroturfed.
Always shoot to be mildly amusing.
Would
That's
Molly
all.
Kearney be on SNL without being a diversity hire? I don't think so.
No. Well, nothing about that bit was funny. Like, nothing.
So here are some lines from this monologue. Kearney got right into the message. Right-wing attacks on trans kids and their health are despicable.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's something about the word trans that makes people forget the word kids, said Kearney. If you don't care about trans kids' lives, it means you don't care about freaking kids' lives. Yeah. This is just a really disgusting weaponization.
It's a semantic argument that's very clearly not based in reality.
But I just don't get how that even ended up on SNL. Like, it's not funny. It doesn't make sense. It's so bizarre. The whole thing's strange. What's its purpose?
And the reaction was not laughter. The reaction was Clapter. Yeah. It's the definition of Clapter. I didn't make that up.
Oh, that's a good one.
But people were applauding Molly Kearney. Note that they were not laughing at any jokes because no jokes were being told. Nothing recognizable as comedy was on screen. But they're there to pat themselves on the back. That's what they're showing up for. Yeah. But the people at home, I don't know how this is appealing to anyone anymore, and that's why their ratings keep dropping.
I don't know who the hell the demographics are of people that are watching it. Like
exactly,
it's kind of like how CNN only gets ratings by being on at airports. I don't know who's actually watching any amount of Saturday Night Live and finding it funny. Though, to be fair, the comments do get, like the videos
They only get a
comments.
boost in ratings when they bring someone on like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Well, also, I did find the segment where they did Dystopian Mario with Pedro Pascal. That was actually clever. That was like the last time they did something that I thought was
have
actually
moments.
Kind of, yeah, like, and I still think Levi Wokes is the funniest thing they've ever done. If you ever get a chance, I pointed out, if you ever want to define wokeness to someone, watch the Saturday Night Live bit called Levi Wokes and say this, but serious.
Okay.
So it was in 2011. It's genderless, style-neutral denim for a generation that defies labels.
Wow.
And the whole thing, it's actually quite prophetic. So they fit everybody because they fit nobody. Yeah.
See,
Wow.
they used to be able to make fun of themselves.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Now
actually, at the
they're not
time, I
capable of
I
that.
think it's not even making fun of themselves. I think most of them are talking heads that are just going to say whatever they're, the people in charge are telling them to say anyways, because they're not attached to it one way or the other. So it is what it is. So they have their moments over the years, not as many since what's his name, Andy Samberg left, which was the last time, whether it was his skits with The Lonely Island and Justin Timberlake, those were actually fairly clever and
Right.
entertaining. And that was the last great, and great is an overstatement. That was the last bit
Good.
of Saturday Night Live that was
Yeah.
mildly amusing. Now it's just weird political propaganda
Right.
masquerading as comedy. And
We covered it when Dave Chappelle did his monologue most recently, and there were a ton of posts that were like, I wonder how Molly Kearney, their only trans non-binary cast member, felt about this. Because they just openly invited a transphobe onto the show to preach hate.
Welcome to the world, dude. You're gonna end up working with people you don't like or disagree with. That's
But
like,
this is the moment where they decided to make right on that. Here's the most disgusting part of her monologue. She said, "What's happening, kids, is wrong, and you don't need to be scared. Our job is to protect you, and your job is to focus on being a kid. It's kind of like me flying in the SNL sky. There's a bunch of dudes asking about your crotch and controlling when and where you're allowed to pee. But if you just hang on, you'll look up and realize you're flying, kid."
Oh my god.
that is
To speak to children and say, our job is to protect you. Don't be scared.
freaking creepy.
You're not
dude.
the
No.
parents.
Well, they think they
That's
are because
so creepy.
they don't believe in families and they don't believe in the importance of families. They want children raised by the state.
That is so creepy to say.
It's, it's like
and this-
great art dies as culture dies, right? So we're now watching the death throes of comedy at a time because nothing can be funny anymore because everything has to be some type of shoved in message. They just won't leave kids alone. Like that's the funny thing. I still consider myself in a lot of ways still very liberal. They just won't leave kids alone. Leave the damn kids alone. It's not that hard. Like I don't
That's
give a
not
crap
going
what
to
you,
happen.
I don't give a crap what you do as an adult on your own time. It's not my business. But leave the damn kids alone. But they can't because they're insane.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. And they have so much institutional power when a multi-gazillion dollar network is the one backing you to do this. That's what I'm saying about infrastructure.
Right.
They have all the power to promote all the messages they want. And it's
Yeah.
all subsidized because it's not like this stuff's making money anymore.
Right.
Whether it's BlackRock, whether it's Vanguard,
Yeah.
ESG investing for these companies. Like imagine the boost they get when they get to see a skit like this. And they're like, we want to invest with you.
Right.
Because of your creepy skit where you want to groom kids.
Yeah, and we'll bail you out when you fail at what you're doing because of your messaging.
Exactly. It's disgusting. This is like, ugh.
Another angle is that this seems to be like a way that they're publicly flogging Michael Shea, who is also doing the faux interview with Molly Kearney, because in the past he has made jokes that are now deemed transphobic, having dead named and misgendered Caitlyn Jenner on Weekend Update,
Womp, womp.
and saying that pronouns are silly.
Oh,
And he's also openly friends with Dave Chappelle, which is
Right.
a problem now too.
You're not allowed to. That's the other sad thing about this industry is like the policing of who you're allowed to know and not know. Like your friends list is now sus.
Oh, yeah,
Like
totally.
who you follow
Yes.
is going to be a bone of contention.
Right.
And people use it now. Like I've actually had to do that. Like if I'm looking at people who I want to, if I like about who might want to do this show,
Yeah.
you can glean some instance about whether they might agree with like, because we have to worry about whether they're going to, I'll have anybody on here.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
But the idea is like, you're going to get a lot of no's if you don't, from people when they find out who you work for in this realm, right? So if you're looking to waste less of your time, you have to look and be like, okay, they follow this person.
Right.
They might at least be amenable to that idea. But that's not because I wouldn't want somebody who disagrees with me. Yeah. It's because I know that they won't, and I don't have the time to send out a million over here.
Yeah.
Have you felt that like tyranny over who you're allowed to associate with?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. The first 2020 and 2021, I had a lot of unfollows from fellow industry people. But then slowly they started creeping back when all the information that I was saying was verified and became sort of more popular and acceptable amongst people.
And the Overton window shifts.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Do you think that for a lot of them, it's just that impulse? There's a lack of impulse control, right? Like a lot of people don't have the ability to just wait on that tweet. They have to say it now. They don't know that, like, they're feeling it in their gut. And they always say, like, if you have something that, if you're going to send somebody a negative, say something negative to someone, like write it in a letter, wait a week to send it, right? And nobody has the ability to even wait 10 minutes.
Pause when agitated.
Yes. And that's one thing that I think I do fairly well. Like, granted, I don't post a lot of stuff that's angry, but even when I did, I waited. Like, it's like, if it still bothered me, like 20 minutes later, and the few times I had like post and delete, I was like, oh, the one I let it slip, and it does happen. But in general, wait. You don't need to just respond right away to someone.
Thankfully, all of the feedback on the video SNL posted on YouTube is negative.
That's always encouraging.
I just wanted to read some comments. Someone said, "This is literally future comedy from that South Park pandemic episode." Another person said, imagine showing the current world to somebody 10 to 20 years ago. Would you guys have believed it?
Oh my gosh, no.
No, it's like when people, they're like, imagine showing somebody from 1980 this picture. It's a guy walking with a cell phone and like looking at himself. It's like, you wouldn't be able to explain what the hell's going on.
Or people forcing you to play pretend with them.
Yeah.
We've got a super chat from Ryle Kittenhouse that just says, A. Thanks.
Thank you, Ryle Kittenhouse.
Another person said, I miss Norm.
Yes, we all miss Norm Macdonald.
And Brett, I think if you like Norm Macdonald's style of comedy, you might like Sam Hyde.
Oh,
it's a little bit similar.
I'll have to. It's one of those great mysteries that I've just never watched. Like, I hear him referenced all the time. Never watched a single Sam Hyde thing.
Sam Hyde.
He was on Adult Swim briefly in 2016, but got canceled. And we were just talking about a reality show that he's making yesterday. Anyway, I'm sure that the video SNL posted is getting mass disliked, just like the rest of their overtures.
Well, that's in YouTube helps them by getting rid of the dislike button. Actually, no.
Like, how can you think you're oppressed or put upon when every mega corporation backs you?
Resist,
that's
they
my
all
question.
say.
Like, because the oppression always starts in their brain, no matter what. It's their own oppression.
Because they hate themselves. That's the real thing.
Exactly.
What's the name of the skit?
They hate themselves.
It was Weekend Update, Molly Kearney on anti-LGBTQ bills in the United States.
They hate themselves so much they have to change their identity.
It's true, yeah. I think, like, especially non-binary, it's the renouncing of your innate femininity, and you become your like body becomes a monument to like renouncing your life-giving capacity as a woman.
Wow.
8,000 upvotes, 8.2 thousand upvotes to 15,000 downvotes on that skit. So,
and I just added one more.
Yep. There you go.
There you go. I don't know if that made any difference in the world, but it makes me feel better.
That's what it's about. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.